All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 295 of the KissFAQ Podcast. This week we are back talking Kiss from the board, by the board. And I'm obviously Julian, admin on the KissFAQ message board, and I will one day get my intros to shows right and remember where I am and what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be talking about today. I am joined with Lonnie, St. Louis Kiss.
What's up?
And Ken, 69th Blizzard.
Hey.
Not wearing your Paul Stanley Puma trackies.
Not today. Just wearing
It's in the wash.
A Target Kiss T-shirt.
Yeah, this is my favorite Kiss T-shirt. It's called Vinnie Vincent's Career.
Wow.
An empty canvas.
Empty canvas. Yeah.
Well, of hopefully good things still to come, because he did do his Valentine's Day bash. There's very little reporting on it because it's super secret. Unless you have the handshake, you're not getting any information. I did get some news out of people who did show up there, and he did show up, and he did play, and the person who contacted me had a great time. So it may not be for you. It may be for you. It is what it is. I guess it's like a tree that falls in the woods. Does it make a noise? Well, I guess you have to be there to find out for certain. So put your money where your mouth is, because Vinny's not giving you nothing for free at this point, which is fine. That's his choice. Every time anyone posts a Vinny thread at the moment on the FAQ, it degenerates into... how would we describe it? It gets locked, but eventually there's a lot of back and forth. It's a very depressing thing. This week's episode is, well, about the board. It's topics from the board, stuff that people have been talking about recently. You're going to have a chance to win the new Polestar Kiss special issue, End of the Road, 99 pages. I did a flip through that you can also watch already on YouTube. So stay tuned in to find out how you can enter a contest to win that. It is apparently sold out now at Polestar, so thanks for those who did share the link, which I forgot to put in my posts. And people were able to get it before it did sell out. So I think it's a worthy addition to the collection. Why don't we just jump in? Anyone bought any Kiss shit this week?
No. Boring. It's a great segment.
Just
well, that was quick.
Just
That was a good segment.
Just the Kiss T-shirt. I think I can't think of, and I got nothing else other than getting the the tour book in, the newest.
No,
one.
I did see one post on Facebook during the week that was a whole bunch of German vinyl pressings packaged together, being sold. I think there were 30 sets of those available. And for a moment, I was like, do I really want that? And then I reminded myself that no, I don't want any of this modern vinyl. But it was neat to see. And I guess if you do collect and you want to buy in bulk and get it, it was a pretty good deal, actually.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like you. I thought, I get that. The different Kiss logo on there, right? But I thought, no. I pretty much, for the most part, stick to just the American releases and the repressings of American Kiss albums. But so I have a few foreign ones here and there, but I don't go out of my way to get everything. So, and that was, I wanted to save my money for something else.
Well, why don't we jump straight into some of the topics that have been popular on the board the last week? I mean, I think probably the coolest thing is the sketch for the Unmasked cover, and that was originally drawn by Vinny Gerlando, who worked, I think, for Dennis Willock, or at least on the Mark side of things, did like a reference sketch to give to the actual cover artist, Victor Staben, for him to design the cover for the Unmasked album. And this thing, I've never seen it before. I believe it's in Alexander Johansson's collection, and he's a really cool guy. He went to a ton of shows throughout End of the Road early on. I mean, he was basically the Viking fixture at every single show. very, very nice guy. Great collection. He's got like a Kiss museum. And so I believe it came from his collection, and he shared a scan of the actual artwork. It's got Vampirilla. I mean, it's totally different from what was basically done for the cover. And we've talked about the cover of this album before, but now that you've seen the original sketch, what are your kind of thoughts on that, Lonnie?
Well, the best part is it doesn't say "I still say they stink" in the bottom right-hand corner of it.
Exactly.
So I think that sticks out to you immediately, because when you look at that, and especially where they, I always thought it was stupid, buying it on CD as a teenager. I thought, well, that's really dumb. So it really, and because I look at the track listing, I knew maybe only a couple songs off of there. If any, really. I think I knew. I don't know if I really knew any, because none of those songs end up on any of the compilations or anything like that, and none of those songs are on like Exposed or an Extreme Close Up or anything like that either. So I really didn't know any of those songs, so it wasn't a priority for me to get it right away. And then looking at the cover didn't look like, well, it's a cool cover, I'll buy this one. So it was like one of the last albums that I really bought to complete my collection, because the cover was so bad. So, I like the cover is a lot different on the scan than it. And I noticed there's a lot of Ace Frehley in it, and maybe that's why one reason it got shut down and redone, because there's like the whole middle row is almost Ace Frehley. It looks like he's almost like, you would almost think, if you didn't know anything about the band, that he's the leader of the band, because there's really more of him than anyone else. So I thought that was very interesting, even though Ace sings lead on quite a few songs on the album, and Ace really shines on the album more than any others, in my opinion. So I thought it was interesting that it's a different take on it, and I like it better because it doesn't say they stink in the bottom right-hand corner. That's my opinion. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, that's a key. I mean, the first thing I thought is, wow, I've never seen this. Mm-hmm. I mean, here we are, 2020. Anyone who thinks they know it all, wrong. Anyone who thinks they've seen it all, wrong. Anyone who thinks they've heard it all, wrong. I love being wrong, because when you're wrong, you learn something, you see something, you hear something new, and that's what this all was. I love the colors on this. I love the little elements that were in the original idea that did come through. Lonnie, I'm with you. It doesn't say Kiss stinks. It says yes.
Especially in 1980.
At the moment that you really didn't need them to stink.
Right.
Really
we've done
positive.
That show,
but you've got kind of the masks coming off, and I'm with you about Ace, and of course the girl. I didn't have any idea who that was. I had to look up online and see what people were saying to find out that is something comic related. Ken, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool to see something like this after thinking that Unmasked cover was pretty much set in stone or close to that, because we haven't even seen anything like this. So I think it's cool. I mean, it kind of goes back to more of a realistic comic book kind of look, like from Marvel, for instance. Just the way it was drawn and written, it's cool. And I'm with Lonnie about the it doesn't say they stink. At the end there. It says, yes. It could be yeah or something else or whatever, but still, it's anything better than about this, stink deal. It's like, well, what are you doing? But yeah, it's cool. And Ace is. They showed, probably someone said, "Oh, what? Ace gets the powers, the superpowers in this thing, and everyone else kind of just on the side for the rest of the Kiss members." So, but yeah, I think it's a cool thing to see what the concept was originally, and then how it changed. Well, it changed quite a bit. I mean, except when you go to maybe the last, part where they showing their masks, and then they're rocking on stage. Everything else is pretty much different. That's part of the story or whatever.
Yeah, they definitely had a theme in mind of how they wanted to how they wanted it to go with showing the mask in their hand and then the band performing on stage.
How they come up with the guy with the photographer guy trying to catch him without their makeup. I mean, I was just, I don't know who came up with that one, but they should have gone that direction.
You could just see where it started off with the artist's point of view. Here's like a pure kind of comic thing. Yeah. And then they showed it to the band, and the band said, well, we got to have some guy chasing us with a camera and getting into a limousine.
Trying to catch us unmasked.
Get rid of the girl with the 8 feet legs who distracts from, the band members.
8 feet legs, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Again, really, really cool to see kind of where it started. I think I've seen some sketches that Victor did as he was designing his storyboard. So it really went from like a pure comic style into a stylized comic style, because the execution on the Unmasked cover is not like anything that you would have seen in a comic book back then. And this cover is more kind of freehand to that. So very cool, very exciting just to even see something like that during the week. It's like, wow. There's still hope. There's still a lot of stuff still to be seen. All right, let's move into the next topic from the board. And this one's quick and easy. Choose one. Your desert island Kiss song. You're stranded on an island. You can only have one Kiss song in your playlist to play to the rest of eternity. And Lonnie's going to pick Rock and Roll All Night.
No.
Right.
I'm going to pick Come On and Love Me. It's probably my favorite Kiss song. And it embodies, and to me, it embodies the band. It's a catchy riff. It's a catchy chorus. It's Paul Stanley, being Paul Stanley to the max in that song. The verse. It's just very Kiss with the verses. Where they're cheesy and they're cool at the same time. It's just it's to me it's the perfect Kiss song. And if I could only choose one to listen to the rest of my life, it'd be that one.
And you can dance to it too. So
correct. No one can make fun of me dancing because I'd be on a desert island by myself. So
well, Wilson might, but that would only be in your head.
That's true. Yeah. Who's he gonna?
Wilson.
Ken, what about you?
Yeah, I like Lonnie's choice. It's pretty much pop perfection, really. Rock pop perfection by Paul there, and it's a great song. But I was on the board and I saw that topic, and I actually put in. I said, I typed in "Escape from the Island" would be my song for Desert Island. Anyway, I thought it was kind of funny at the time.
Ken's smart, the rest of us.
Well, no, not really, but.
That's a little cerebral.
A little more warped. Yeah. But seriously, the song I think I would go with, well, there's a couple, but if I'm going to narrow it down, I'll narrow it down to Black Diamond, which is I pretty much list as usually my favorite all-time song that I need to hear at every Kiss concert. And pretty much they do it, most of the time. So, I thought of maybe Calling Dr. Love, which was kind of one of my early favorites, but I thought Black Diamond because it's just kind of an epic, great song that used to be the closer of their show when they first started out, So that would be it. I know what Julian is going to be. I'm not going to say it, but I know what it's going to be.
What's it going to be?
I told you I'm not going to say it, but I know what it is. Begins with a D.
And ends with a oos.
There you go.
Of course it is. It's Deuce. And it's my Kiss song. So if I'm going to be trapped on an island with one song to listen to, it's going to be the one that was the first I heard, the one that I love to hear live, and the one that never gets me down. It's really my cold gin. It's my hotter than hell. It's
get you back on your feet.
It's my let me go rock and roll. It's the only thing I need. So Ken, I did just PM you. I hope you are recording because my recorder just crashed.
Well, you're lucky.
Hallelujah, we've got a show, because otherwise we're well buggered. All right, so let's move on. Andrew, we don't care what yours is because you're not here. Why doesn't Kiss record a new album? Ozzy did it. I mean, apart from the fact that Ozzy really doesn't write his own albums, he just basically shows up and does what Sharon tells him to. I think he does help out melody-wise, but he's not as involved in the musical creation. All throughout his career, going back to, well, come on, Sabbath. And then he had Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley. Basically wrote the first two albums. And then he had Phil Suzanne and Jakey Lee and Zakk Wylde later, and basically a succession of people that wrote his albums that he would then sing. And I'm sure he did give ideas, and so I'm not completely negating his contributions to his own music. Kiss is a different kettle of fish, isn't it? So why do you think that Kiss doesn't record a new album if Ozzy and possibly AC/DC can? Lonnie?
I think Kiss, as much as I would like to see a new Kiss album, and I think as much as the Kiss Army would like to see a new Kiss album, I think Kiss knows their own. As much as people aren't going to like this, Kiss knows the audience. And Kiss knows what people are coming to their shows to hear. People want to hear those classic songs that are snapshots in their head. And when they play something different, I mean, I've seen it in the crowd at Kiss concerts when they play something that's even slightly different. I mean, at an arena type show or a shed type show, when they played Hide Your Heart, like in the summer of 14, and Hide Your Heart was a fairly decent song in 1989, 1990. The crowd around us just died. I'm having a blast singing Hide Your Heart, but no one around us knew it. And you've heard stories about in 2004 when they did All the Way and when they did Love Her All I Can. Yeah, the Uber fans like us and the people who listen to the show every week are loving it. But that's 10% of the audience. So when they go do a new song, the same thing happens. My brother went with me to a show in 2010 in Chicago, and they did 3 songs off of Sonic Boom that night. They did Modern Day Delilah, Say Yeah, and I'm an Animal. And when they went into, they're introing I'm an Animal, Paul Stanley goes, "We're going to do another song off Sonic Boom." My brother turns and looks at me and goes, "Another?" Like, I've had enough. I've had enough of the new songs. I want the old songs. And that's why. Because they go, you're going to take that, and money too. It's going to take time to record an album. It's going to take time to write an album, and then promote an album, and then release it. And then who buys albums? Kiss is about making money, not spending money. Without, if Kiss is going to spend money, they want a return on their investment. And not that Ozzy and AC/DC aren't going to get people aren't going to buy their album, but just, Kiss are moguls, and they're smart business people, and they know that, the juice isn't worth the squeeze for us to record an album, because one, people are going to look at us like, what is this, when we're playing it live, and it's not going to sell the way we really want it to sell, I guess is a good way to put it. Because if they're going to record an album, they're going to want it to sell up to their standard of being a gold album, and it's just not going to happen. So that's why, in my opinion.
Ken, how about you?
Well, I did respond on that topic. I think it is partially because, record sales are not going to be a huge amount, but it used to be back in the day, they used to tour to promote the album. You tour behind the album. You put it out, and that would help sales. You go to the whatever city and maybe and do the concert, and maybe that city's, the sales would spike a little bit in each of those locations that you toured. But it's changed quite a bit now. So But I think one of the reasons is, maybe it's because of sales. Another could be laziness, but I think they probably would have done one if Paul's voice hadn't, let's face it, deteriorated from what it used to be. I'm sure they could fix a lot of things, but I wrote that you could still do an album, have Gene sing his songs, have Gene sing one of Paul's songs, have Eric sing other Paul songs, and let Tommy do his one-off song. They could still do it, and it would. The Kiss Army would buy it, I believe. I would get it. They write most of the time, pretty good music. Even if I get, half an album of Gene, it's Gene, at least, it's like a half a Gene solo album, maybe, it's something like that. I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be, you never know. You may write some great songs. We might get a song that becomes a real classic. But if you don't put anything out, who knows? You may get, who knows, would have, could have been, I guess. But I don't know. I would like them to do something, but even one song, for that matter.
Yeah, I think going out on the end of the road without like an end of Kiss song is really kind of egregious in one way. I understand, Lonnie's many metaphors about why they don't. Juicing and squeezing and whatever.
I say that all the time.
Loving and touching and squeezing. So
you just use a blender next time.
I get it, but I was living in hope that they would do an album of 12 songs where every single song has a backbone slipping in it lyric. Yes. That just would have been like the biggest to the critics. I don't think it's worth the effort. And Ozzy hasn't had a studio album in 10 years. His last album, I think, was Sabbath 13. And then before that, obviously, Scream. I tapped out of Ozzy so many years ago. Once Zach appeared on the scene with his harmonics, pinch harmonics in every fricking part of the song, I was like, enough. So Just Say Ozzy was my last album that I actually bought at the time. I liked, No More Tears was really cool. But after that, forget it. I've got Black Rain. I still haven't listened to it. So, different sorts of bands. And part of the kind of thing that came out of the why doesn't Kiss do an album like Ozzy does? Because Kiss isn't Ozzy. Simple as that. And then it was like, why didn't Kiss do more of the Resurrected type stuff? Well, because it sold 7,200 copies its first week. It was a dog. The deluxe edition, Love Gun Deluxe. Yeah, they were crap. They just weren't what you wanted or hoped for or expected, and they didn't sell as a result. And therefore, Kiss and those, probably the label, primarily the label, said, forget it, it's not worth it. These people aren't buying it. Just sell them the catalog. They seem to keep buying that over and over again in, decent sorts of numbers. So we'll reissue the Elder on brown vinyl.
We all laugh because it's true.
We'll tell them it's a limited edition at Walmart, and they'll all go there. And, Walmart will be happy because they've still got 18,499 copies of Sonic Boom in each store. So it's
ready. Dressed to Kill is coming next month.
I think we're probably to blame. The fans, the so-called Kiss Army, didn't buy Sonic Boom when it came out. The so-called Kiss Army didn't buy Monster where it came out. So why will they make an effort? And Soul Station. It's a different art. No, it's a different artistic proposition. Paul Stanley's doing that for him. I don't think he cares about the sales.
Sure.
I think he's pretty sure that it's not going to sell like anything to do with Kisses, but because it's his own, he's willing to accept less sales because it's his baby. It's the thing that he's invested in artistically, something that he enjoys and a personal passion, just like his art. So, why won't Kiss do an album like Ozzy? Well, because it takes Kiss a little bit more effort, and it's got to be Paul's way. So... True. Why won't Kiss do it? Because Paul doesn't want to. All right, correct. Let's move into another. A bit morose this week, isn't it?
What?
Well, the next one was your first Kiss concert a letdown.
Is it your first Kiss concert or the first Kiss concert that was a letdown? Your first Kiss concert a letdown? Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I read the original question from the board, and I don't respond to most of these topics. So, Lonnie, was yours a letdown?
Oh my gosh, no! It might be my favorite Kiss concert I ever went to. My first show was supposed to be the Revenge Tour in 1992, but I got in trouble with my parents, and I wasn't able to go to it. And I've told this story on the show before. So my first show was actually July 2nd, 1996, the third show of the reunion tour. And, everybody remembers the reunion tour and how crazy it was just to get tickets. And, it was pre-internet getting tickets. So you had to go wait in line or get a line number. And St. Louis sold out in like a half hour, but we got tickets. And we were up top in the upper bowl, but my brother and I were just happy to be there. We felt lucky that we were there. But we bought the day we bought tickets, and we were walking out with tickets in our hands, and it said section 303 on the tickets. I still remember the section I sat in that night. And there's still a ton of people standing in line at Macy's trying to get tickets, because that's where you went to buy tickets. You either had to go to Macy's or you had to go to the venue itself. And we're walking out, and there's a ton of people standing in line still. And we looked at each other and like, not all these people are getting tickets. It's gonna be sold out by the time we get to the car. And was it a letdown? Absolutely not. It may be my number one or number two Kiss concert I've ever gone to, just because of the pure excitement of finally being able to see them. And I think that's what a lot of Kiss fans said in this thread, was that just the excitement of being able to finally see my heroes, in the same venue, in the same room with my heroes. And, there's so much buzz around the reunion tour at the time, and they were becoming, if they weren't already, the biggest band in America again. And to see that curtain drop for the first time, and there they are, and they're playing Deuce in the makeup with Ace and Peter. It's like surreal. Like, am I really seeing this? And if you think about those reunion shows, I mean, the amount of pyro on those reunion shows is nothing compared to like the amount of pyro they use today. I mean, they use plenty of pyro for the reunion shows, but nothing like they do today. And when those flames shot up during 100,000 years, you could feel them from up top. From up top, you could still feel the heat from those flames. My brother and I looked at each other like, holy shit. And we laughed. And after the show, we left. We were just like, God, that's the best thing I've ever seen. I mean, it really was just the best thing at the time. It was just the best thing I'd ever seen. So my first Kiss concert let me down. Hell no. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I can still talk to you about it, and I can still remember the freaking section I sat in and how much I loved it. So no, my first Kiss concert did not let me down. Julian, you were at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, and I can't decide whether it was a letdown or not, because number one, it was a positive that I had finally made it to a Kiss concert after all the drama of, say, Finsbury Park, the Live Worldwide shows in '96 in London and Birmingham, everything that came before there, Donington 88 for that matter, the shows that I was around and able to go to, but for one reason or another something happened, car breaks down, drank my gas money, shit like that. But then I get to Dodger Stadium and I wasn't on the field. I was in the stands, so I was about 6.5 miles away from the stage. So I had a better view of the Psycho Circus than I did of the actual show. So for my first Kiss to be so far away, it's actually better experience to have watched the bootlegs that I was in love with at the time than the actual concert experience that I had. It's it's a little bit, you know, yeah, it was a letdown because I was so far away I couldn't see. I knew which member was where because I know which member is on which side of the stage and what their stage moves are. So it was kind of autopilot from that perspective. But in terms of experiencing any of the excitement, no, I was walking around Dodger Stadium through beer swollen piss, basically listening to Kiss play and watching the circus. And I don't think I went to my seat once during that show because it was so far back. I think it was a $55 ticket. I sold my stub years ago, so I don't remember precisely, but it was so far away. But then again, you take this how special that night was. It was a unique show. How many people get to say that their first show was in a stadium? Because Kiss was never a stadium band. So I assuage, kind of my criticality of the event and what was going on with it was an outlier. It was special. It was a stadium in the United States, even if it was LA. So I'm really on the fence, and I can't decide if it was a letdown. And then, of course, for the rest of that tour, they dropped 3 songs. They changed the set list, so I got to hear She and I think Nothing to Lose.
Nothing to Lose.
And the debut, the proper debut of the Psycho Circus songs. So all of that is very, very cool in terms of just the pure kind of stats and numbers. But there was also a lot of drama going on with that whole night. I didn't get to go to the dress rehearsal the night before. But, again, you were at an event, you were at something special. Do you discount that because you have a shitty view, or do you say that it was cool that you were there? I mean, if you came to America on the Mayflower, did you care if you had, in the prow or in the, in the stern? You still got there. So I guess I have to say no, it wasn't a letdown. It was a positive that I'd finally lost my cherry, my Kiss concert cherry. Without a car breaking down, the plane crashing, or there being an earthquake. Hallelujah. So, Ken?
It was not a letdown.
Yeah, I didn't
no, my first...
I wouldn't think so.
I was... 1979, first concert, Dynasty. How could I be disappointed with that? I mean, I told a story. I was so excited that I was, sick to my stomach. I was so excited to see them. So, they didn't have the curtain drop at the beginning. I think at the beginning what happened is it got dark, and then the fog, a lot of fog, and then all of a sudden the sound of them rising as statues on their pedestals, action figures, superheroes kind of thing. I thought, it's the coolest thing in the world, And then they kicked in, then it started, right? So it was a great way to start, at least, being my first Kiss concert. Just, great show. And again, I said it before too, it was a blur to me. A lot of it is a blur. I do remember, Gene flying up to the, rafters and stuff like that. And the blood spitting routine, which I was so excited to see, live. But and the feeling of the flames and all that kind of stuff for the first time, as Lonnie said, the first time, now you expect it. You expect to feel it, and you can still feel it from way back at a show.
Your first time, you're not expecting it. You're like, holy crap.
It's like, whoa, and the little bombs that go off and stuff like that. But I'm glad, though, that my first concert wasn't the Crazy Nights tour, because that was a letdown.
Yeah, there's people commenting about that.
That one was a big letdown for me, of all their shows. It was like, wow, even I came out of that one saying, what the, what's wrong, with Kiss? They were just going through the motions on that one. So, but yeah, first one was great.
Yeah, that's too funny. Crazy Nights. And you're just talking about Flame there. Just thinking next week. Next week we see Kiss.
Yeah. A week.
Finally.
Yeah.
Front
a week
row.
to go.
Just
You
thinking.
guys are sitting together too, aren't you?
Just
Yeah,
how
we didn't
hot
plan
those
it.
flames are going to be. That is so cool. Yeah.
We're sitting next to each other, but we didn't plan it. I said I got my ticket.
It's fate.
I said it's front row, and he said, "Yeah, mine's front row." I said, "What's your seat number?" And he told me his seat number. I said, "Oh, I'm right next to you."
And you're like, "Shit, get a refund! Get a refund!"
Yeah, get a.
No, that'll be fun. I mean, for my complaints of Dodger Stadium, again, to go to the end of the road. I've been, I think, 4th row, 8th row, 7th row. Have not done a front row at a Kiss show since 2000. 2000 was my last one, and someone very, very kindly took care of me at that show. I got backstage on the farewell tour. That was when I got to watch Gene going around eating cake out of a bowl with just his tongue, and Ted Nugent was holding court back there. It was like really, really wild. And then to actually be up front for the first and to date only time, and really feel the flames. And I was on Ace's side that day, I think. Again, it's a bit blurry, all those years ago. And to then do it again on the end of the road. I just hope this virus holds off, long enough for Kiss to get to Oakland, because I don't think they would. I don't think they would reschedule for a third time. Or a second time if they have to do anything. So I did see someone posted a Twitter feed today from Gene that he was sick and in bed. So glad he's got a few days off before McLaughlin, Nevada on the 29th, where hopefully Shannon, take care of him, please.
Shannon's air mailing him food.
Pizza.
Make him happy, get him whatever he needs, check in on Paul, Tommy, and Eric, and make sure they're all healthy, because through the 6th, and we're nearly to the tail end of this first leg of the tour as well, which is amazing, that another bunch of dates have come and gone, and they got rid of Crazy Nights. Yes.
Yeah. Back to Do You Love Me?
Yeah, so I'm good with that. So can't wait. All right, let's do the giveaway for this. So you want to win a copy? Again, like I said in the video, I've done a gore. It's nicely sealed, and it's not going to get bent in the post. Even got a KissFAQ pick. Found one. Still have one, actually. Let's see. Email KissFAQ@outlook.com by Wednesday, March the 4th at noon Pacific time, and you just have to tell me what Lonnie's Desert Island song is, because just in case I don't remember. So easy as that. Just email KissFAQ@outlook.com, Lonnie's Desert Island Kiss song. It's as simple as that, as easy as it seems.
Or is it?
Or is it? Because I know I'm going to get emails. Fuck you, Julian.
Easy as it seems. Is that a clue?
Is that a clue to what Lonnie's favorite song is?
Or
Lonnie just wants to be trapped on an island with Unmasked.
They were talking about Unmasked earlier. Is it easy as it seems?
Yeah. All right, so let's move on into another topic from the board, and that is 1980s Kiss album that you thought was going to be huge for Kiss. Ken?
Okay, yeah. Well, I thought, this is funny, I thought that Crazy Nights, I did think Crazy Nights was going to be huge. When I first, heard the first song, how catchy it was, saw the video, and I thought, oh, this is it. They're gonna hit it. I mean, they have the sound, at least what was current at the time, or what was
modern
popular.
Sound at the time. Yeah.
Popular, right. And Bon Jovi, Heart, that kind of stuff. And I thought, yeah, I think this is going to do it. It's going to put them back on top. I really thought it. I thought that. But then realizing later that they were a little bit late to the game. And then I think the other point is still, I believe, radio still wanted no part of Kiss for the most part. Yeah, you could hear them more and more in the 80s than they used to be played, at least in the 70s. But they just, I think part of it was the radio. I think the promotion was probably there, but I thought it was going to be a hit. I really did. I thought it was going to be huge. I don't think it did horrible, but I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than it turned out to be.
Well, I guess it's easy for me because getting into the band in '85, Crazy Nights was my first album. Brand new. I knew it wasn't going to be a hit, so that leaves me with only one option. I thought that Hot in the Shade was going to be massive with Hide Your Heart, and to be fair, I hadn't heard all, like the Molly Hatchet, or what was her name? God, Robin, whatever, the other version. So there were several versions of Hide Your Heart Out. I don't remember when I heard which in terms of Aces or Kisses, but I thought that was a strong enough kind of song that they were back, especially after Crazy Nights nearly made me not a Kiss fan. It's like, oh, this is going to be massive. And it wasn't. That album stiffed 800,000. It even Forever was kind of plastic hit. It went to number 8. So. But it was manipulated. So I thought that was going to be huge. But again, I thought there were enough songs on there that they would have cycled through a few more singles and actually expanded or extended its lifespan. But instead, what they did, they flipped Forever and Rise to It around, and then did nothing for a few months while they tried to ride Forever. And then Rise to It came out last. And I thought there were some other, kind of options to get a Gene song out there as well. But... again, I don't have any options to go to because I can't go back and then say, as a fan, I thought Animalize was going to be absolutely massive because I wasn't a fan at the time. So
true,
not really gonna try and make up shit just for the sake of.
Okay, well, Lonnie, make up some shit.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do because I turned 10 years old in 1989, so it's really kind of difficult.
So Lick It Up was going to be absolutely massive,
oh, right?
Lick
It Up when I was 3 years old.
If you said 90s, I know what Lonnie would say.
Right. If the topic was 90s, I was saying that I thought Revenge was just going to be...
Well, come on, 90s, you've got 3 choices. You've got Revenge, Psycho, and Carnival.
Right.
Who's going to pick the other 2? Come on.
Correct. But, I have memories of Hot in the Shade when it was new. My brother's friend had Hot in the Shade, and he was telling us how great this Kiss album is, blah, 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 blah. And I hadn't really heard it. And then Revenge came out, and I loved it. And then I was like, you know what? I never did go get Hot in the Shade. Jason was telling us how great this album is, So I went and bought it. I'm like, this isn't as good as Revenge. He's crazy. so I really don't have a good answer for that. And, it's a shame Andrew isn't here because he's younger than I am, so he wouldn't have a good answer for it either. So.
It's true.
If he was here, he would lie through his teeth and make up a really good answer to make you believe that he was there.
That he was there. I was there.
He would be convincing. Andrew, shame on you. 2020 ticket sales. That was another one that kind of popped up. I'm wondering if that's even worth conversation because it is what it is. They've been to so many markets in 2019 that a lot of what I'm calling secondary or B markets, which are just outside of the major metropolitan areas, automatically become B venues to me as I categorize places. Right. A lot of people traveled. That first leg of the tour gets announced, people make travel plans. People like, I gotta be there. It's FOMO, it's YOLO, it's all these stupid acronyms. And
you don't like those?
I'm like a living personification of that, with having gone to the LA Forum and Madison Square Garden the first night of the tour. So when it got announced, I went to as many shows as I could, but I tried to go to the ones that had historic significance. But I think a lot of people, and I was bumping into people from Atlanta and Tennessee and California, for fuck's sake, at Madison Square Garden. I met very few New Yorkers that week, apart from Nibbler and Adrian. There were a few others. I'm just being melodramatic. But I met a lot of people from out of state at Madison Square Garden. I met a lot of people from out of country at LA Forum. So I think a lot of people actually spent a lot of coin getting to see Kiss in 2019, so that now we're to places like Peoria, or however you say it, or Sioux Falls, or Lincoln, Nebraska. And no offense to any of those places, I'm not insulting where you live, but they just don't have the same cachet as, say, Los Angeles Forum, that has history, or Kobo's gone, obviously, but there are still plenty of other places. Lonnie.
Yeah, there were more destination type places last year. They announced that first leg, and there wasn't a St. Louis date. So my wife and I said, well, we're looking at the dates now. There's Kansas City, it's 4 hours away. Well, there's Memphis, we're 4 hours away, and that's on a Saturday. Well, that'd be good. It'd be a nice, weekend getaway type thing. So, that's what we did. And doing that, thinking that, okay, they're announcing this leg in the winter, or, winter/spring, and then they're going to go to Europe. It's like, I can't imagine them doing another run through the States in 2019 with them saying that it's going to be a 3-year tour. So we said, let's go see them this year. I said, next year they'll come to St. Louis, they'll go through the States again, and I'll go with that with my brother. Well, like 3 weeks after, maybe 3 weeks to a month after they announced that leg, they announced some more dates, and St. Louis is on there. I'm like, well, I have to go see him. That show is like literally, 10 minutes from my house. So like, I have to go to that. So I did that too. And I think there's a lot of people out there who did the exact same thing, where whether it be the same situation where they're not coming to my town, well, now they are, so I'll go. Or they said, well, I'll go to the one in my hometown, and well, I'll travel to another one, or something like that. Or I'll travel to a couple and I'll go to one here. And like Julian said, well, New York, that's a destination place to go see Kiss, in New York. LA is a destination to go see Kiss in LA. Detroit, I've seen Kiss in Detroit. I was like, I got to see Kiss in Detroit one time. I've done it. I'm sure a lot of Kiss fans have done it. I got to see Kiss in Detroit one time. Where nothing, and again, nothing to take away from people in Springfield, Missouri, or Peoria, Illinois, or places like that they're playing right now. But I've never looked at my brother and said, hey, we have to go see him in Lincoln, Nebraska before this is all said and done. No one has said that. And that, nothing against that. That's how Kiss really built up the Kiss Army, was by playing in small Midwestern towns like that and building like a grassroots type of Kiss Army. So, but I think the people who live in the bigger cities, I mean, yeah, maybe you live in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they didn't come to your town last year, but you traveled to Kansas City to go see him because I want to go see a show. Well, now they're coming to your hometown where I'm going to go see him again. But I don't think it has the same reverse effect where somebody who lives in a bigger city who may have already seen him a couple times saying, I'm going to go to the smaller venue and see the same show I saw a couple times last year. Because obviously there's 2 songs that are different, but essentially you're going to see the same show you saw again. So that being said, I can see why people aren't traveling as much as they were last year, because it's the second year at the end of the road. And at the same time, but in the same breath, I'm going to say this, that I wouldn't be surprised in 2021, before they do the show in New York in July, that they don't have one last run through the United States prior to that show, whether in the major market, like major markets, one more time, with like a Chicago, like a Detroit, like a Dallas, Atlanta, Boston, places like that. And you could call it one last Kiss before it's goodbye, or something like that. And I could see that happening, and those shows being more destinations. Like, hey, I didn't get tickets to that July 17th show in New York, but I'm going to catch them on maybe their third to last show in Boston, in an arena type place. So I could see that happening. Those being more destination type shows.
Yeah, this is it. This is the best I can do for the final Kiss. Can't get to New York. I'll go to I don't see them doing another NorCal show since it's such a hard sell anyway.
Philadelphia, whatever.
In Vancouver is hardly a destination. I only went up there because my mother was a nurse there in the 60s, and it was opening night of the tour, so I had two kind of justifications to go up there, and, I obviously met some cool people as well. I did not get to go. I mean, if I really want to do my bucket list, it's to see Kiss in England or Scotland. One of my home countries. And I just couldn't do the travel after everything that I had done to get out to Newcastle or Glasgow last year. So I still hope there's another chance. I know they're only doing one date this year, and I can't go because I got to fly to England next month. So it kind of sucks, So I'm hoping in 2021 there's an opportunity, because I hopefully will have paid off the cruise by then. And that also plays in. I mean, it's financial, and people work. Not everyone has bottomless pockets that can go traveling. So someone who's going to Lincoln is getting a Kiss show. Getting a downsized Kiss show, but it's still a damn good Kiss show. So, again, sales are what they are. I think Kiss is out at the right time, thank God. Because imagine if Kiss was doing the U.S., well, they are in the summer. They're doing another leg when everyone and their dog is on tour. I mean, is there any band that has not committed to tour in the summer this year? I think it's going to get... yeah.
I got my refund for Ozzy last week.
Yeah, so I think it's going to get really tough, the market, in terms of pure economics, because people are going to say, well, I did see Kiss in 2019, or maybe I got a Groupon deal in early 2020. Now they're coming back around in the fall, and unless you've already bought your ticket and it's paid for, when there's Rammstein, when there's Poison, there's Cinderella, there's, oh my God, I mean, Guns N' Roses.
Rage Against the Machine's touring and selling out. Pearl Jam's touring. Like, everybody's touring.
And the big question over AC/DC and what's going to happen with that, because I missed the Giant Stadium show, Pac Bell Park in San Francisco, of them back when Brian Johnson was in the band previously. So, if AC/DC comes in, it might be one of those bucket list items for me. Ken, I mean, what are your thoughts on 2020 ticket sales and whatnot?
Well, yeah, it's obvious that they're kind of, oversaturated after the first year. They should have, they had the Sacramento show, which we went to last year. And had they not had that show there, I don't know. I probably would have thought, oh, shoot, where am I going to go? I probably would have went to like Fresno or something like that. But if Kiss would have waited longer, if they didn't do that Sacramento show and they didn't put that Oakland one later on for sale, they could have waited and probably been able to do Chase, the Chase Center. I think it probably would have sold very well, because it's brand new and it's in San Francisco, and they haven't been to San Francisco since that crazy night show where it was like at the San Francisco Civic Auditorium. Before that, they hadn't been to San Francisco since the Asylum, when I saw them at the Cow Palace. Sure, I'd love to go back to the Cow Palace and see them one more time. I think that would be a kind of a cool thing, because I had seen them there, 2 times back in the day. First one was Dynasty, so that would have been cool. But I could, Chase would work maybe, but maybe not now, because they did Sacramento. Everyone from the Northern California went to that one. It sold out. Oakland is having a hard time selling out. I mean, there's tickets left there. It's a good amount, but it's not a sold out, and I don't know if it'll make it to sold out. I don't think it will. But maybe most of the tickets will finally get sold by the end of next week, which is showtime. But I just saw a show gone for sale for Blondie. They're going to be playing at Chase. I don't know how the heck they're going to sell that out unless they're playing with other groups, because I saw them just last summer at the Concord Pavilion, which is this whole, another thing, a lot less, people there. Of course, they were on the bill with Elvis Costello, but I'm thinking they're going to have someone else with them in order to sell a good amount of tickets. Probably 2 other bands, I would say, in order to sell enough tickets at the Chase Center. So anyway, yeah, it's a little oversaturated. You kind of think, well, yeah, they're not selling out some of these places, but it's enough. They're still making money. I know they're making money.
They gotta be. They're not touring to lose money. And if the promoter's taking a bath, then you know that Kiss are making it up on merch sales.
Oh, definitely.
So
a lot of merch. Yeah.
Yeah, the merch is probably more important, as are the, I don't know what they are now. What are they called, the experiences? Because I know you and I have both purchased the, what were they called? Silver? Because they changed the names, didn't they?
Gold, silver, platinum, or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so we bought the one, or at least I bought the one that is just the photo with the band.
Me too, right.
At least they've changed the backdrop since the first one in Vancouver. So
yeah,
did they?
Saw that. The backdrop is different.
Yeah, okay. So I'll be happy. That is, my life really must be pathetic for me to be happy with a backdrop change for a photo. I'm paying $1,000-something over. Yeah, moron. Take my money, Gene. All right.
You can bring your KissFAQ backdrop with you and see if they'll accept that.
They might confiscate that.
No.
Kissy leaks.
This is my final one. I am not wearing any branding whatsoever.
No branding. Oh, wow.
I don't want Paul and Gene looking over my shoulders at what I'm wearing.
What is that?
Kiss? Not even Kiss branding?
No, probably not. I'll probably just wear a regular button-down shirt and just
dress up and show himself off a little bit.
Just be a little bit more. Yeah. Just so that when Gene throws his blood glass at me in front row, you know. So that'll be a nice canvas. Well, like this.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
There you go. It's perfect.
An empty canvas. Come on, Gene, paint me.
Paint me, Gene. Paint me like one of your French girls.
All right. Well, let's leave that there. If you're paying attention, you know how you can win one copy of the Polestar Kiss special issue. Go back and reverse or look at the closed captioning is a good cheat to get through any episode of a podcast and search for what you want to find, because most of us do have those enabled. All right, so let's leave that there for now. So from Ken, from Lonnie, from Andrew, and myself, thanks for joining us. We will see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to check out Look It's Rock and Roll. Thank you for everyone who tuned into that and checked out our Choose Our Delusion episode. We've got the next one planned, and hopefully you'll enjoy that too. So bye for now. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.